Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're going to be taking a look at a old but new game that just got a remastered edition. I played a lot when I was younger of a game called Command & Conquer Red Alert, which I believe was the second game in the Command & Conquer series. The first I really barely played, but actually both Command & Conquer and Command & Conquer Red Alert have recently been remastered and are available on Steam. I picked up the remaster, which is sort of a combined thing, so you don't pay for each individually, on Steam as part of the Steam Summer Sale, and that's what I'm going to be taking a look at today. Now, I don't know if we're going to be doing a whole bunch of this series or not, but I did want to go ahead and just sort of take a quick look, and since I was playing it and whatnot, I figured I would share it with all of you guys. It could be a fun game to stream. I think, you know, some of the full motion video stuff is fun. Some of the original missions are pretty interesting and enjoyable, I think. But we'll see. It's been like 10 years probably or more since I played this game. These games are over 20 years old. At least the oldest of them are. So we'll see how they hold up. I'm not a big RTS kind of guy on this channel. I don't play a ton of RTS games, but it still could be a little bit of fun to go ahead and check out. So let's go ahead and jump in. So here you can see I'm just kind of fiddling around, showing some of the options, some of the settings that you can choose from. I do think one of the interesting things is they're pretty adamant about mod support, so I'm curious to see. I haven't really looked around yet, but if there will be a robust modding community. Also, a lot of options on resolution. You can even choose to play the game in the original look and feel, but I don't know why you would want to do that, because the enhancements that are made to remaster this thing make it look actually quasi-modern, whereas the non-enhanced version is not super blocky and blurry. But I guess there's a nostalgia piece to it. Now you can see that we're jumping right into one of the full-motion video clips. Albert Einstein in 1946 is working on a plan to see if he can eliminate Hitler. And that's what we're going to see here in a moment. I think for most of these full-motion video clips, I'll probably just step aside and allow you to kind of listen and enjoy these. These were one of the things that this series as a whole was very famous for. These games came out, I think, in still sort of the heyday of the FMV phase, where games would include, like, acting little bits. In a lot of games, it was really corny and not very well done, but in the case of the Command & Conquer series, I think they're somewhat beloved. And so I think we'll for the most part, we'll play through those. Some of those are kind of long. This one's, you know, a couple of minutes long. And I think the briefing scenes with the different generals and officers are a little bit longer. I probably won't talk over them the way I am here most of the time.
Ich habe keine Zeit, hier rumzustehen.
Ja, ich verstehe.
Did you find him?
Hitler is out of the way.
Congratulations, Professor. With Hitler removed...
Time will tell. Sooner or later. Time will tell.
So for this campaign, we're going to be playing through this as the Soviets, at least on our first playthrough, at least in my first playthrough. Again, I don't know if we'll make this a big part of the channel or not. I think there's a total of like 100 campaign missions between both Command & Conquer and Command & Conquer Red Alert. As a reminder, this is Command & Conquer Red Alert. This is following sort of an alternate history where Albert Einstein, which you just witnessed, goes back in time and eliminates Hitler prior to his rise to power. And so it ends up resulting in sort of a different World War III. World War III still occurs. It's just between the Soviets and the Western allies, including Germany. And in this scenario, or I guess the capitalist allies is probably the accurate expression, Stalin is still the leader of the USSR, although technology is more modern than the Second World War, as the war occurs slightly later. than was historically the case. Now, with that being said, we're about to jump into the first briefing, so I'm just going to step back and allow us to enjoy these full-motion videos and all their corniness.
Radenko, how long did it take the gas to work?
Is it safe to speak?
Of course. Go on.
The kill time depends upon the weight of the subject. The children were terminated in less than 15 seconds, and the adults took longer, 18 to 42 seconds.
No survivors.
None, Comrade Stalin.
The total dead?
Approximately 840.
My intelligence said there were 877 people in the village. How do you account for this discrepancy?
Inaccurate intelligence?
Enough. Begin full production of the gas.
Already underway, Comrade Stalin.
Meet our newest officer. According to this profile, you should prove useful.
I would like to see that profile.
Give the lieutenant something important to do. That is all, Gradenko.
Forgive me, Comrade Stalin, but there is something else. Outside Torun, we have met with guerrilla resistance. They have blocked the roads into town here and here.
They are enemies of the people. Destroy the town and kill everyone in it. Come, my dear. I have an assignment which requires your special skills.
Let's see how you handle this. Go at once to Torun. Destroy everything and everyone. No prisoners, no survivors.
Okay, so I forgot that the first mission is one of, I don't know if it's genocide, certainly one of a war crime where you're playing, I guess they're trying to reinforce the point that Stalin was bad. And so the first mission of the game is to eliminate a village of largely civilians. I think there are some Western capitalist forces, but the majority of what you have to do here is eliminating a village of peaceful people, as well as a few military units. So you can see here, this is, it's an RTS. The first mission doesn't really give you any options to build anything. It's just largely, destroying. The interface, I don't remember what the interface looked like in the original Command & Conquer Red Alert, because I played it on the PlayStation. So when I played it back in the day, it was on PlayStation 2. PlayStation 1. And so I'm sure the UI and the interfaces are different. I know the write-up about this says that the UI and UX are different. But I can't really speak to how different it is. So you can see, obviously, I'm using air support to knock out enemy infantry units. We're getting paratrooper reinforcements as we destroy different units, or as we destroy different enemy forces here. You can see the initial bit was a fair amount of enemy troops, but then there's sort of the killing of the civilian piece as well. Mixing air support with your Yak fighter aircraft to kind of come in here and destroy different buildings and units, and then using the infantry to sweep things up. Also, one of the important things in these early battles when you're not very strong is these maps are designed in a fairly creative way, where you've got different explosive items that you need to use to really win. So, this mission, and then I think there's one where you have to hunt down a spy. Both have a large number of, I don't know if it's a large number of enemy units, but there's a fair number of enemy units, and the only way to really effectively destroy them with your units that you're given is kind of what you're seeing me do here, is hitting these oil drums. Like, there's these two machine guns on the opposite side of this bridge. There's no way that my troops will be able to hit them. They're fixed, they're fortified positions, and infantry is very expendable in this game, but the way that you successfully complete the mission is by destroying the oil barrels that for some reason the AI, and obviously it didn't place it, this is the way these scenarios are designed, but that for some reason the AI said like, oh, it's a good idea to put all these explosive fuel barrels around all of our units. But in any event, you can see there that was there you go, mission accomplished by knocking out those barrels, and we won our first scenario. So obviously, whoa, Jesus, I don't remember the post. I don't remember the post-battle scene with, like, screaming children where, like, you're executing these people. Oh. Wow. Okay. But as I was saying, you know, this is... I honestly don't even remember what I was saying. But that's the first mission in Command & Conquer Red Alert 2. We'll play a few more. We're only like 10 minutes into this video, so I think we'll play a couple more. One of the interesting things that's kind of cool about the game is as you kind of fight different scenarios and as you advance across Europe, or as the Allies as you advance against the Soviets, you get these different options to fight different scenarios. Now, I wish it told me a little bit more about the scenario. I just had an option to pick sort of a northern or a southern route into Germany. I don't know how those missions are different. I'm not even sure if they are. It didn't really tell me to. It just asked me to pick a north or a south. So I picked a northern route there. That's going to influence which mission we play. While you can't get any of that information in the campaign, you can get it on the scenario selection map on the main menu screen.
Congratulations on earning this assignment, Commander. I am Captain Georgy Kukov, Chief of Field Operations for this region. Beyond this river lies Germany. Tomorrow our attack begins. For today, you have guard duty. See to it that nothing happens to the base or to the command center. The Allies have been moving closer and closer to our position. Watch out for sneak attacks. If conflict erupts, you have permission to take the fight to them. See you in Berlin.
So there you had it, another one of our of our little full motion video clips there. The piece that I don't remember being on PlayStation, and maybe it was all along, was not the actual full motion video stuff, but then like right before this mission began, you saw those, you know, those soldiers sort of pop up, and you kind of saw the enemy, if you will. And I don't remember that being there. I just remember the actor stuff. Meanwhile, this is going to be the first mission where we can actually build stuff. It's going to be another pretty quick mission. I think that's one of the appeals, in my opinion, with the Command & Conquer stuff, is that they could be, especially as you got later into the game, challenging scenarios, but they also were scenarios that were often very, very quick. I mean, we're only 13 minutes into this. We've watched every full motion video. We had a little bit of time on the menu. We played the first mission, and we're already into the start of the second mission. And again, we're less than 15 minutes in, so this is very much the kind of game you can just pick up and play for a few minutes and make some progress. Again, at least on these early scenarios. I really want to know what the mods look like. If anybody's making them, I should look into that. Now you can see here we've got our first base. The building on the far left here is a construction base. This is what allows you to build other buildings. You've got 3 power plants here, and then some sort of command office, which I'm not really sure what that is. We just built an ore refinery. The ore refineries are necessary to get more money. So you can see there's another enemy soldier that just showed up. He's shooting at our harvester here. But this harvester is going to go around on the map and look for gold, if you will, or ore, if you will. That's the little gold icons represented on the map. And so it's going to go around there and harvest it. And then as it harvests it and brings it back to the refinery, it will give us money that we can spend on new buildings and new units.
Acknowledged.
So the refinery being obviously this building with the 2 smokestacks on the bottom part of the map where the harvester is going. And you can see as it pours it in there, our income on the top right, that 3,500 number, goes up, which indicates that we now have more money that we can spend.
Yes, sir.
Our objective in this mission is to destroy all of the enemy buildings. We don't see any yet. We probably need to build our forces up to be a little bit stronger. We see the enemy periodically sending more and more units against us. The second building I'm going to build here is a power plant. That's because in order to add more buildings to your base and allow them to operate properly, you do need electricity. So this little bar on the left here says we've got 400 electricity. That represented by the green amount. We're using 300 of it, which is represented by the yellow amount. So each building uses different amounts of electricity, has a different cost to it. We're going to build a barracks now. This will allow us to raise new reinforcements. So we're losing, or we have been losing, a fair number of soldiers so far from our initial starting units here. And so now that we've built a barracks, we can go ahead and we can build new troops. We're also going to build a flame tower, which is sort of a static defense unit. So as enemy troops approach, it will shoot basically bolts of flame at them. Basically, it's a stationary flamethrower. We're also going to build a pair of Yak attack aircraft. That's what we saw us using in the first mission. And we'll use those to have some air support. We already have 2 airfield bases on the map here. They didn't have any fighters on them, though. So as you build an airfield, you then have to build aircraft to occupy that base. Aircraft can be destroyed, and then you have to build new aircraft to replace them. But essentially, those runways, each one holds 1 aircraft. So now you can see here we're training more infantry here on the infantry tab. We've raised quite a few regular infantry. We're raising some grenadiers as well. So regular infantry are cheap. They're like $100, and they build very quickly, but they don't have a lot of firepower. Grenadiers toss grenades, as you might guess from their name, and so they're better at destroying enemy vehicles, light vehicles, mind you. And so we're going to build a few of those. We did run out of money, but there our refinery vehicle just continues to operate and brings us a little bit more money. I'm going to send this Yak attack aircraft off after this barrel of oils. You can see there was a refinery on the other end of that river that we can't get to because the bridge was destroyed, but I saw the refinery, which I'm assuming, I don't remember the Allies having separate economic vehicles, but it did look like there was a refinery over there, which I'm assuming is the equivalent of the Allied harvesters, ore harvesters, if you will.
Construction complete.
Although I'm not entirely sure on that. I could be wrong. We need a little more electricity, so we're going to go ahead and put another power plant. I'm not sure where to put it. I guess we'll put it here. Need a little bit more electricity, so just put another power plant in. Oh, I also did build a silo there above those electricity plants, which allows you to store extra money. So you can only store so much cash, if you will, as your harvester brings back money and that your income goes up. You can only store so much of that in your refinery, so you do occasionally need to build silos as well, which allow you to sort of stockpile more money. So we'll build another flame tower just in case the enemy attacks from the south, which they really haven't been doing at all. And then we're going to build a few more grenadiers, and then I think we'll set off after the enemy base, which from my own 20-year-old memory, or whatever however long ago this was, I believe their base is up on the top of the map to the left. So those flame towers are going to protect our base as we move most of our troops north. And then let's get a few more units here, and then we'll get ready to go.
Unit ready.
I can't go through the center of the map because that bridge is destroyed. I could go through the south of the map, but since most of the enemy troops are coming at us from the north, I'd rather just go where they're coming, and that way we minimize the likelihood of a bunch of enemy attackers. Meanwhile, we've used up almost all of our money, but we'll get a little bit more money as we attack, as our harvester continues to operate. So we've got this mass of troops. You just right-click and drag to select multiple units. Click where you want to go on the map. You can see we ran into an enemy jeep. Our grenadiers were really instrumental in destroying it there. That's why you want that mix of riflemen and grenadiers. Grenadiers, I think, are a little bit vulnerable. They're not also as good against enemy riflemen, but they are good against vehicles. Riflemen are better against enemy infantry. So you can see here, whoa, I've just detected the enemy base. Let's go ahead and call our fighter aircraft in here. There's an enemy jeep that's engaging with our troops. You can see it just killed one of them. And there our strike aircraft came in and knocked out the barrels here. So not a lot of enemy troops around here, quite a few enemy vehicles there. So we're just going to start taking out enemy structures. That's an enemy vehicle construction base.
Yes, sir.
So that like produces enemy tanks and jeeps and things like that. We don't actually have
Very well. Yes, sir. Very well.
Yes, sir. The enemy's counterattacking.
Of course.
Their bazooka or rocket troops are I feel like they're the most difficult. There's an enemy radar installation, I think, which allows us to then have a map. So we don't actually have a radar facility, so that's why on the top right where you've got the hammer and sickle, you would often actually have a map that would show you like what you've uncovered on maps so far. We don't have that, and that's because we don't have a radar facility, but that base that we just destroyed, if we get that later on, would do that for us.
Yes, sir.
So we just destroyed another enemy building here. We'll go ahead and focus on the enemy construction base. This is the base that allows them to build anything at all, any bases at all. So obviously we want to destroy that. We managed to do that. There's a couple of enemy turrets here all around the exterior of the base, so if we had approached the base from the south, I think we would have run into a frontal assault against these enemy turrets. It would have been much more difficult and bloody to deal with those enemy turrets prior to even knocking out their infantry. So I think the northern attack route was wise. Let's see here, we're just trying to finish the base off. We have suffered a fair number of losses, but I think we're doing okay. So I'm not going to destroy the barracks because the objective is actually to destroy all the buildings. I just want to uncover the rest of the map, make sure there's nothing else that we're missing. Should only take a minute or two before we wrap things up here. So we'll kind of move around the edges of the map. I can't get to everything by the looks of it, but it doesn't look like there's any room for any more buildings there. Possible that we might run into more buildings over here. I really should split my forces and only send some to one spot and some to another, just to speed up our uncovering of the map. I could also drag the units from the southern part of the base where I left them there to uncover more.
Yes, sir.
You can see there's an enemy harvester here.
Lost.
I think it just ran over my troops, but there's an enemy harvester here which apparently had nothing to do because all the buildings that it would be able to drop its money into were destroyed. Bring my fighters in here. Those are not very good. Fighters apparently are not very good against enemy vehicles.
Yes, sir. Agreed.
At least not heavily armored vehicles.
Ready and waiting. Agreed.
So we destroyed that enemy unit. Just looks like the southern approaches had a lot more gold.
Yes, sir.
It's called ore, but it definitely looked like gold.
Very well. Reporting. Very well.
All right, let's go to that central bridge and see what's out that way.
Acknowledged.
We'll also have our fighter aircraft strafe the barracks. I think we're about ready to finish that off.
Reporting. Very well.
Nothing up there. Everything over there already destroyed.
Yes, sir.
So the enemy just produced a new rifleman by the looks of it.
Yes,
I don't think one guy has much chance to do anything against us. Meanwhile, you can see we have $3,500 on the top there. I just got a notice that we need silos, which means that that's basically running out of storage for all that ore. But it doesn't really matter. We won the mission. Mission accomplished. So that's mission number 2. That's the first sort of traditional RTS kind of a game or mission where you actually get to build buildings and build new units. You get the little summary there. My leadership apparently was 65%. I don't know what the leadership represents. Efficiency is 28%. Again, I don't know what that represents. We ended with 3,500 credits, which I'm assuming actually gives me a bunch more points. You can unlock these gallery things, but I don't really know what any of that means. But now you can see here, it looks like we're going to be striking north. Only one option for our next mission here, striking north into Denmark. And I think that's going to lead us to another full motion video event. So let's go ahead and step back and hopefully enjoy the acting and the dialogue here and see what comes next.
The Imperialists are at our mercy. We have 14 tank divisions on this border.
And the Allies with only 3 divisions hold you off.
At the rate of our noble comrades' advance, we will occupy all of Europe within 60 days.
Perhaps, but 11 months over schedule. It is vital to our propaganda efforts that we take Berlin before Comrade Stalin's birthday.
Comrade Gradenko, did you not report all our nerve gas sites secure?
I inspected them myself.
And how did the Allied dogs eliminate our Sovrinsk facility?
Impossible! My security was
inefficient, as we feared. That plant was our primary site. Will there be enough nerve gas left to proceed with our plan? What about Einstein? Is his propulsion system research still on schedule?
Well?
I must report. A few hours ago, Einstein was kidnapped.
I know.
We are recovering him as we speak.
Good. Good! I do not wish to kill so committed an officer as you, Gradenko.
I don't know where Einstein is. Yet. But I do know who betrayed our cause. We have tracked him down in Lund, where he undoubtedly waits to rendezvous with resistance forces. He must die a traitor's death. Get to Kriegen and use your dogs to sniff out the coward before he can take refuge in a safe house.
Alright, so this is going to be another one of those missions where you don't actually get to build anything, and this is actually a new type of mission that we haven't seen before, because this is a mission where you have a specific amount of time to accomplish your objective, and that objective is to kill this enemy spy that you sort of saw run off the edge of the map. He's in a Soviet rifleman uniform. He apparently snuck in and destroyed one of our nerve gas facilities. Presumably we're going to use the nerve gas for something nefarious. Meanwhile, during that last full-motion video scene, the bald gentleman, I believe was Khan. So the I don't know if famous is the right word, but there was Command and Conquer: The Wrath of Khan, which I think was a later game in the series, but he sort of ended up becoming like the face of the Command and Conquer series. Later on, not quite yet, but obviously he just made his, I think that's his first appearance in the series. I'm not, actually, he might have been in the original Command and Conquer series as like the leader of the Nod forces. I can't really remember. Again, I didn't play that one very often. Meanwhile, this is an interesting mission because, again, you've got to kind of navigate your way through the map to try and chase down this spy that kind of keeps getting out of your reach. But there's different approaches. So, you know, we went off to the right to kill the people in that house that then unlocked some Soviet troops that were apparently being held prisoner inside the house, which then allowed us to shoot those oil barrels, which then allowed us to easily get past those enemy troops. So this is one of those, again, it's one of those missions where to win it, you kind of have to look at the map and follow the best approach to try and chase this bad guy down. Now, I think we'll see here in a moment the Richter's house. So one of these things I'm doing occasionally is attacking some of the civilian houses. It does occasionally bring out, you know, bad guys out of the buildings, but it also can allow us to get different perks. So sometimes when you destroy different buildings, you get like a crate that allows you to heal all your troops. You can see we just got reinforcements that we're going to go ahead and chase after the bad guy. He got on a hovercraft and is heading north. If I had known that's where he was going to go, if I knew the map better, I probably would have sent my troops north anyway and tried to head him off as he got off that boat. It looks like perhaps I moved a little bit too aggressively, though, in moving my reinforcements up against these enemy troops because I engaged piecemeal and I got those reinforcements kind of shot up. I also am wondering if I should have destroyed those civilian houses. Maybe there would have been a chance for more Russian troops to be inside those houses and get some reinforcements. But I haven't played this. I remember. That's the crazy thing is I remember this mission from like 20 years ago, but I haven't played it in like almost 20 years. So that's it's interesting how some classics sort of stick with you. So you can see here there's these oil drums. We just destroyed them, and that allowed us to kill all the bad guys except one. And now we're going to be continuing to move through this maze. If we tried to move through it without destroying those drums, they could have blown up and killed us, or we might well have lost in the general engagement.
Unit lost.
So we're losing pretty heavy casualties. We've got like one guy left.
Yes, sir.
It does say reinforcements arrived. Where? I don't know. All the way back at the start. So we're about halfway through our timer of 15 minutes. We just got 3 new grenadiers. That's probably like a last minute reserve here. We've got 1 surviving grenadier who's very close to death. I'm going to have him destroy these houses just because I'm hoping that maybe there's something inside the house that will heal him or give us new reinforcements or something to that effect as those troops show up. Again, time is ticking away, but we should have the time we need. Oh, nice. Okay, so there's a crate here, so we'll move over there. We didn't get reinforcements by destroying that house, but we did get that unit's health repaired, so it's back to full strength now. So we're going to bring up the 3 new grenadiers plus the 1 grenadier we have remaining, and hopefully that's enough to finish off this enemy spy. If there's a bunch of enemy troops still waiting in that corner of the map, I might be in trouble, but we'll see here. We should have time. I don't know why that grenadier
Reporting.
decided to just destroy the
Affirmative.
fence. He could have just marched through it, but...
Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Alright, so we've got all our troops together. We'll move west.
Agreed.
5 minutes remain.
Yes, sir.
Alright, so more drums. One of our troops was too close.
Affirmative.
Two of our men were too close to those drums, and both of them went up with the barrels as they exploded.
Very
Any
well.
rocket infantry here
Very well.
trying to kill us. We've got 2 grenadiers left.
Affirmative.
There's the spy. We've cornered him. Hopefully he doesn't shoot back or anything like that. Well, that was
Mission
easy.
accomplished.
That was a close one. We only had 2 survivors, but we got to the end there, destroyed him with 4 minutes to spare, and now I get this slow-mo CGI execution scene. So that's going to do it for that mission. We've been going for about 30 minutes. We're 3 minutes in, or 3 missions into the Russian campaign or the Soviet campaign. We actually apparently lost more buildings than the Allies in that mission. But in any event, that was another victory. Our leadership was bad, but our efficiency was great. And that's going to do it for this mission. Our next mission is going to be an attack into Germany, either north or south. We'll see how that plays out. Let me know if you guys want to see more of this. This was very much just sort of a first look at the Command & Conquer Red Alert Remastered edition. It was something I played a lot of when I was younger on PlayStation, but let me know if you want to see us as we sort of progress further into the campaign, or if I should just play this offline to myself. But yeah, I'm curious what you guys think. Did you guys play this? Did you play the original Command & Conquer? And what are your thoughts? What do you like? What don't you like? With that being said, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, this is the Historical Gamer once again saying thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'm out.